Oh my gosh. Welcome to Saturday, April 20th, 2024. It has been a challenge in order to try and do a live stream this week. It has been quite a challenge. And I knew, I knew that yesterday, right? So I think I planned one on Tuesday, and then my wife was like, "But I want to," and I was like, "Okay, skip that." Wednesday, I was going to, but then I decided I didn't want to, and then so I thought to myself, "Okay, Friday. I'm definitely going to do a live stream on Friday. Definitely going to do a live stream on Friday." But then yesterday, what ended up happening was I ended up my car. I ended up sitting at the Tesla dealership for an hour and a half, waiting for them to fix my door after they had already told me they fixed my door. So I didn't really get to do anything. What is this? It's just I didn't get to do a stream yesterday, and it was just it was a I haven't done a stream since Monday, so I thought, all right, well, I'm awake. I don't have anything going on right now. I don't have any plans, so let me just go ahead and do this. And literally, I've been wanting to do a programming stream. I've really been wanting to do a programming stream. So it's yeah, it's special. All right. So we are going to be working on we're going to be working on the game GeoSketch, which I know I've mentioned here before. This is the the geography game. And here's another thing that about streaming right now. I literally woke up like 15 minutes ago, and I was like, yeah, streaming in the morning, programming in the morning. Let's do that. Maybe not the best idea. But there's two reasons I've been excited to do this stream. One is because I'm working on Windows, which normally I don't do. Normally these days, I mostly work on Mac. But then the thing that I'm writing actually has to run on Linux. So I don't often have a reason to work on Windows. Now I work with several programmers, and several of them work on Windows. I personally don't understand how they do, but yeah, they do. So, but I began my career on Windows. The first 10, 11 years of my professional career were entirely on Windows. First, there was C++, and then there was like Perl, and in my career, I did Perl for a little while, but C++. Then there was more C++, but then I eventually switched over to C Sharp, and then before coming back to C++ in about 2010, 2011, and then finally switching to Mac. I bought my first Mac, I think, in 2013, and just kind of like started dabbling with it, and gradually liked it more and more, and then started programming on it. And then by, I think, 2015, I was just programming on nothing but Mac. And since then, since 2013, 14, 15, I've programmed on nothing but Mac. I've been primarily Mac, Mac, Mac. All right. But I will say that of the different OSs I have used, primarily Linux, Windows, and Mac, in the development tools that I have used, Visual Studio is still the best. It is hands down the best, and it is the only reason that I would even think about doing development on Windows. And as you can see, here I am on Windows, and immediately I am using Visual Studio. So what we're going to do today, the game right now, when you start it up, it has a new screen, it has a settings button, and then it has an exit game. And if you click on new game, it takes you right to a new game. But a lot of games, when you start a new game, you have options, right? Like, for City Skylines, you can have turn off money and get all the cheats, things like that. A lot of them you can also select if you want to play them, easy, medium, or hard, and stuff like that. So what I want to do is we need to have an interim screen when the user clicks new game. We need to have a screen in between that click, in between new game, that basically is like easy, medium, or hard. Now I had started that with this here called this game select screen. And I think, I even drew the buttons. Now here's where I was getting a little caught up. And so when I was doing this, just kind of like sitting on my couch, just kind of, watching TV, doing this. So I had to add a new action type, right? So the action types, they define, how do I go to let's peak definition. Okay. So when the action types come from a poll result. The poll result has an action type, right? You can see here, poll result has an action type, and then it has a data. And the data is a boost to any, meaning it can be any type of data. This way, when we either do a poll or when we do an update, we can get actions from those polls or updates. Like think of like a timer that's counting down, right? So that would be in the update, you could have some type of action that takes place where the game is over. So you could have an action that is, change screen, and then the data would tell you to change to the game over screen, like you see here, screen game over, something like that. Well, the problem became, because this poll result, it has an action type, or it has a type and it has a data. What I needed to do is I needed to say, okay, we're going to start a new game. Like when you click up here, when you click the easy button, for example, and you need to say, I'm going to start a new game. And my first thought was, well, that would be a change screen, right? You're going to change screen, and then the data, when you pass it a change screen action, the data is you tell it what screen to change to. Well, the problem is if I tell it to change screen and then I tell it in the data, I tell it what screen to change to, how do I tell it what I have selected, right? How do I do that? Another interesting design, interesting design decision that I made was that all of the handling of this, the handling of this is all handled in the game engine. I think it's mostly handled in the game engine. Yeah. Okay. So it's partially handled in the game engine. You can see here that poll result is polling the current screen every cycle. It's polling the new thing. It's polling the new screen, and normally it's nothing, right? Because normally result type is going to just be none. But here we would have change screen and exit screen. And so one of the things I don't like is that now we would need a new one that is essentially a change screen, but allows you to pass an argument to the screen. And I don't know if that is really the best way to do it, but I feel that any other way to do it would require a kind of a refactoring. So I'm just going to go down the path of doing it like this, right? So here is what I have. New game, and then the data. So when you have a new game, you know what screen you're going to. So here you can pass in things like the level that the level of difficulty the user selected. So let's go over here. First of all, how do I split this? Okay. There are some things I am not entirely used to with Visual Studio, because I don't use it. It's not my daily driver, so to speak. All right, what I'm looking for now is what I forgot what I'm looking for. So where was I? No. I was here. See, this is another thing. How do you make a copy? Like, you got to go to okay, so like this. I want a second copy of Game Select Screen. I know you got to go to like Window or something. Window. But if I do new vertical, no. I want a copy of this. Open. This should. I remember. Oh wait, new window. Ah, there we go. Okay, because what I want is okay, and then you gotta drag it over here. In I will say that the UI in Visual Studio Code is better. I do think the UI in Visual Studio Code is better, but the debugger and the tools in general for Visual Studio are just super superior. Okay, so I have here new game. I need to replace all of these with new game because that's going to be the action type. The action, and like I justify this design by thinking like, okay, well, you could argue that new game is an action, and change screen is another one. Like they're related, but they're not the same. So the data that's going to go in here, the data is going to be information about the new game. Right now, all we have is whether or not the user selected easy, medium, or hard. Now, the reason I opened this window over here is because I did put an object somewhere about new game settings. Where was it? Ah, here we go. Exactly. New game settings. So what we have, and you know, I just built this out. I didn't. There's the only thing that exists to it right now is easy. Is the level. I expect this to grow in the future, which is kind of why I kind of put this structure here. Well, I put it in a struct. So we want the data to be a new game setting. So what we can do is we can just do. Now I like to use namespaces. I do. One of the things, let's see, I need to make sure is GameEngine.h should. I'm going to go ahead and include it explicitly just in case. But I like being explicit. Like a lot of people, you will get these okay. You'll get new programmers that are like, well, is it really that bad to include namespace, like to use namespace, the global namespace? Is it really? And the answer is always a resounding yes. In programming, one of the things people need to realize, one of the things I see with junior programmers a lot is they code, they're writing it to have the code be easy for the writer, whereas code is written once, but it is read many times. So if you need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence to make sure that the program is written well and that it's going to perform well, but there is an amount of due diligence that needs to be done to make sure that future people reading your code can actually read it, and that is important. Like there is a due diligence that needs to be done for that. Okay, so let's just come down here. So now we have, all right, and then another thing, guys. Any junior programmers, style is important. Like, see how Visual Studio here has just completely made this indent, like the indent, it just looks ugly. If I saw this on a code review, I'm going to reject the PR. If I see this, even if it's just, well, especially if it's one line, like if I see this, I'm rejecting this PR. Yes, it has no functional bearing on the program whatsoever, but it's style. And style is important. Style is in, now there are certain things that like I will allow in a PR. There's certain things like if I look over here, like I will allow this how these numbers, but you'll have some programmers that will do this. Look, not that. They'll do this. And I will allow that too. So you don't have to space things even out like that. As a matter of fact, I prefer this. But if a programmer does it the other way, I'm not going to reject that either. Like that's fine. But if you have something that's like double indented, I'm rejecting it. I'm rejecting it. Or another good example, what I've seen of junior programmers is, see here, I have these even spaces. Sometimes you'll have this. And I'm not complaining that the bracket is right up against the text. I'm complaining that it's not consistent. Here you have a space, here you don't. Now, I personally think this is ugly and a little difficult to read. I don't like this, how the brackets are right up against the text. But if I see that, I'm not going to reject it. But if I see this, I'm going to reject it. And of course, I prefer this, which is fine. Okay, so this is actually going to be hard. This is going to be medium. Okay, so this should compile. I don't know what the runtime state of my program is in, so we'll take a look at that. But what this will allow us to do is this will allow us in the future, maybe we'll have to add some new things to new game settings. I don't know what yet, but I'm anticipating that we will have new game settings in the future. Let's see. Let's see. We're running with rel with debug. I want to look. Okay, we have 16. We have it muted. Okay, let's try running it and just see how it goes. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's running on my other monitor over here. And it's taking its time starting. Okay, here we go. All right. So what I'm talking about is this new game button here. Right now, it's not drawing anything. Okay. All right, it's not drawing anything. Let's figure that out, right? So we start at the main screen, we select new game, and then game to change screen to screen game select. Okay. And then that's going to go to the game engine. We've selected it. How does this? I wrote this code a while ago. So GUI result. Okay. So what's going to happen is when we push the new game button, it sets this object here, this GUI result object, which gets read here in the poll, and then if the poll has a GUI result that is not type none, it's going to return it. So let's make sure that's happening, and then let's see what's happening once the game engine poll gets the result. Let's see. So we're over here. I might make the window a little smaller just to have it a little easier to read. And I got my debug window here. I can't forget that. Okay, so I want to set a breakpoint. Game engine select screen. No. Game engine.cpp. Do I have game? Where? Oh God, Windows. Okay, Visual Studio. I was like talking you up. I was like really just like going on about how great you are. How do I get to the Solution Explorer is what I want. And I hate when it's on the right hand side. We're going to put it over here on the left hand side, and then I want GameEngine.cpp right here. And this is what I want. Oh, wait a minute. I think I see the problem. Because no, it's not a problem. Okay, okay. So let's just put a breakpoint here and put a breakpoint here. Just in case it's like telling us to exit the game for some weird reason. Okay, so now we have the game running. Okay, I hit that breakpoint. Wait, maybe I'm actually getting into the screen. Maybe I'm actually screen select. Maybe I actually am in the game select screen. Am I? Maybe. Let's look. No. Okay, well, wait, that's still not a fair assessment. Let's block on the poll. Okay, I am in the green. Okay, so the question then is why aren't my buttons being drawn? And that should be a pretty easy thing because what I can do is I can look on I can look on main screen and I can just kind of look on game select screen to see what I'm missing. Oh, I do have to take. Maybe I was going to take a break, but no, I'm good. I think we're good for right now. Oh wait, am I ever calling? I'm never calling a knit GUI. Okay, that would probably explain why the GUI is never getting initialized. Okay, so let's take a look now. Let's clear our breakpoints and take a look. And then for anybody new, anybody watching, I'll show the game if it works. Let's see if it works. That's going to be the goal of today, is actually getting to the game and actually getting the. Why is it so slow? It has to be. I don't want to talk about why it is, but it has to be like AV software on the computer. It has to be. This is ridiculously slow. Come on. Come on. You can do it. I think what's happening is I'm rewriting the exe every time. So the antivirus software has to scan the exe every time. But this is insane. And Visual Studio is locked up. All right, let's see if we can abort that and start over. Okay. All right, let's try again. Okay. Now it starts right away. Okay, let's see. New game. There we go. We got our easy, medium, and hard buttons. Now, if we select one, do we get a new game? No. No. Okay, we're not getting a new game yet. It's okay. It's okay. Now, but the question is, why not? We're in the game select. We select the GUI result. If we set GUI result, well, let's make sure that our the breakpoint's never getting hit. Okay, I have to take a break. I will be right back. Okay. All right, we're back. We're back. Oh, boy. Okay, where were we? We were trying to figure out why, if I press this, it doesn't go there. So it's like the actions are never happening. But if I look here, I'm not even going to hit a breakpoint there. That's weird. What is this? So that when you can't set up, this breakpoint's disappearing, which tells me that this code will never get hit. The breakpoint will not be currently be hit. No executable code of the debugger's target code type is associated with this line. But why? But why? Like literally why? What about for this? No? Okay, do I have to what if I just literally put a space, save, and rebuild the file? So we're compiling game select. This is game select screen that I'm not able to, can't open. Okay, I had the thing open. What about this? Okay, I know what's going on. So game select, let's move this over here. So I think what's happening is when that old copy of the game wouldn't load, it's still in memory. It's actually still running somewhere in memory, and now I have to find it and kill it. This is another reason I dislike Windows. But now I gotta find it if I can. I'm looking at it over here on my other monitor, trying to find a copy of it, and there are so many processes running. Modern computers have an insane amount of processes running. And of course, I can't find the one I'm looking for. I can't find, is it maybe the debugger is running? So here, I'll just bring this over. So I'm looking for GeoSketch or something like MSVC debugger. And I don't see it, NVIDIA. Because I think what's happening is it's telling me that it can't overwrite geosketch.exe because, and I'm guessing the reason it can't overwrite geosketch.exe is because the process is still running. But I don't see it. Did it die? Let's see. No, it still can't do it. Let's try instead. Let's try the terminal. I'm going to try Git Bash. I don't know if Git, let's see. Does it have this? Grep. Geo. No. Okay. No. No. No, this is completely unusable or completely useless. It is of absolutely no help to what I need to do. So I have this rogue exe in the system. Okay, where's it trying to write it to? It's trying to write it to GeoSketch build source rel GeoSketch build source rel. So there it is. What if I just delete it here? Oh, it let me. Okay. Now what about if I do this? And it built. Okay, so now let's try the code now. Okay, we got that. There's our debug screen. Here is the exe itself. New game, easy. Okay. Have we made progress? Can we, no. Easy. Okay. Let's do, okay, one thing I like to do when I get into weird situations like this where things seem like they're building, but they're not. Well, first we could check the folder to see if it was rewritten, which it was. But so one trick I like to do is just write some bad code, something that you know is not going to compile. Compile it, try to compile it, make sure you get a compilation error, which I should. Okay, I did. I've got a compilation error now. So now I can do this. Let me see if Joe's awake. Let's see if I can get Joe to come here. Okay, let me see. Okay, so that definitely compiled. And can I set a breakpoint there now? Oh my God. Here, it's still, okay, it's not taking that long. That's good. Can I breakpoint? What? The game's running over here. Okay, let me quit. I'm so confused. Okay, I'm gonna try another Scorched Earth. I'm just gonna exit Visual Studio Code. Hopefully, if there's any like bizarre processes out there running, this will nuke them as well. We'll see. And then another thing, we can go back to Task Manager and look again. Now we have to look for like Visual Studio Code. Okay, like we can see Discord, Chrome. We can see some normal stuff. I don't know why Beyond Compare has a background process that runs. I find that so bizarre. There's Discord, FD, let's see, NVIDIA, OBS, what you would expect. Start stream. I do have another idea if this proves to be fruitless, if this does not fix. Okay, here's all the host processes and then the services. Processes. Okay, let's start Visual Studio Code again. I'm very confused. And of course, Visual Studio Code's taking its time too. All right, let's open up what we have. Okay, this is going to work. This is going to do it. I have a feeling this will take the cake. Now, one of the things we can also do is something I should have done to begin with is logger debug easy button press. You see the Copilot's already like fleshing it out for me. I don't understand why it's doing this. Okay, medium button pressed. And you see there, I another white space fix that I did. Like I wouldn't reject a PR for having trailing spaces, but I'm gonna, because I look, like all my IDEs, I have white space visualization turned on. So if you have like trailing white spaces after the lines for no reasons, I'm gonna see that as sloppy. That's gonna look sloppy. Yeah, I have no idea why this is not working how I would think it should work. And I don't know if it's a code problem or a IDE problem. All right, here we are sitting here waiting again for, okay, here we go. That wasn't too bad. Okay, so we got this. New game, easy. Okay, easy button press. So can we stop? Can we put a breakpoint there now? Well, that's bizarre. So it's like it was getting, okay. This is a bad habit of mine. I often don't read error messages. Let's see what this error message says. I mean, the breakpoint will currently not be hit. No executable code of the debugger's target code type is associated with this line. Possible causes include conditional compilation, compiler optimizations, or the target architecture of this line is not supported by the current debugger code type. Okay. Obviously we're getting into that. Obviously we're getting into that line of code because I have a log message that proves it right here. Easy button pressed right there, right there, right there. So let's not worry about it. Let's assume it's working. So what I want to, oh, okay. So now I see why the game select isn't working. Okay, so over here, no. When I push that new button, it should be setting this to new game, which probably is returning, but then maybe game engine isn't handling new game. Okay, so that's going to be poll. Yeah. Okay, that's the issue. Game engine isn't handling GUI result. You know, one thing. I was going to say GUI result should no, yeah. No, GUI result is a single object. Okay, so it's all poll results. So we have this over here. So what's happening now is this is getting handled, but it's over here. It is getting handled in poll. Oh, wait a minute. I screwed up. I screwed up my debugging. Just give me another minute. Okay. I have a return here. Whoops. Okay. Oh, that's actually an interesting bug. Okay. I know exactly what's happening. Okay. All right. So I pushed the new game button. This is the GUI result is getting set. It's returning GUI result like it should, and it's getting returned right here. The problem is that it's not handled anywhere. So what we need to do is we need a new handler in here. Else if result type, okay, and then you can see my autocomplete filled in the new game type for me. So what this should be then. So here I am changing the data type to the screen, but here what I need to do instead is I need to change it to the new game settings. And look, wow, damn, I swear, the Copilot autocomplete is like, it reads your mind sometimes. Now you gotta watch it because it writes bad code probably about 15% of the time, but man, it is good. All right. Okay, so we need to get that object. And then what we can do so new game settings is new game settings, and we need to pass those to change screen. Now, I was getting ready to go the templated route. Right, I was getting ready to put a template argument on this, and then you could have a template parameter that I could then pass as needed. But I think in this case, I'm going to go with a boost any object, another boost any object. And the reason, no, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Ugh. Or I could have screen settings. Okay. Basically what I'm trying to do is this new game settings object. Down here, I have a settings game select. Why do I not have a new game? How did that work before? Main menu, splash, game select. Maybe I did. But basically what I need to do is down here, I need a new case screen game where I'm actually have my game screen object, right? But I need to pass the game screen object the new settings object that I got. So first thing I need to do is I need to go to game screen, and I need to make sure, and we'll just append it to this for now. I'm not crazy about that, but that's what we'll do. Const new game settings. There we go. I need to make, where was new game? It was defined in game engine. So let me, okay. Okay, that should be good. So now what we can do is we can go to the CPP file and copy this over here. So copy that, toggle header and code file, go over here. Right now, actually, let's just add a member. We'll just keep a copy of this. Right now, it doesn't matter very much. We don't have to do anything with it right now. So let's new game settings. And then we'll come over here to game screen settings, and then we'll just do ours. There we go. Like that. Okay, so we have saved the settings, and then we can even put logger. No. Oh, do I not have a logger object in here? What did I do? What just happened? Okay, game screen.h. I don't have a logger object in game screen. Well, that's stupid. Let's add a logger object to game screen. Okay. All right. So game select screen. What do I need to do that? I just need a logger like this. So game screen. Need to add the logger object. Now see how I have evenly spaced things out? I mean, I just do that because, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But again, I would not reject a PR for doing it one way or another, as long as it is consistent. You have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, it looks sloppy and it looks ugly. Okay. And then this one over here, how do I just need to do this right here, but I need to do it in game screen as well. So we can put that here. And then this like this. Okay, so now that should create a logger object for this class. Let's go ahead and spread these out like that. Okay, and then, so what I ultimately wanted to do is I just wanted to come down here and I just want to message logger info game mode. Now this is going to be interesting. Game mode. Yeah, game mode. And you can see my autocomplete went ahead and did this entire, like, turning the enum into a string. I mean, it looks good. Settings level equals level easy. Then it prints easy. Otherwise, settings level new game equals medium. Print medium. Otherwise equal hard. Okay. So that should compile. So in game engine, let's go. Oh, we got a compilation error somewhere. What do we got? What do we got? Syntax missing. Okay. Yeah, we didn't finish this thought. So how did I decide to get the new game settings in the change screen? I think what I decided was I'm just going to pass them as an argument. I'm not crazy about that. Let's do the cast here, and then, so I'm trying to think of how to get this object down into this function, right? Here I've gotten my new game settings, but now I need to call change screen in order to create the screen, but now it needs a new game settings object. So I think what I'll do is I'll just tack it onto this. Again, I'm not crazy about this, but it is what it is. New game. Is it new game settings or new games settings? New game settings. Okay. All right, and then let's go over here, and now we need to add this over into the eight. Oh, nope. Like we need to add this into the header. I mean, into the source file here. Again, not crazy about it because this is going to get ignored a lot of the time, but it is what it is. So now what we can do is we can pass settings into here like this. And then the last thing I need to do is, I think that should work, right? So we detect the new game action, essentially, which is from the button we clicked. We get the settings for the new game, and then we pass them into the function. Okay, we got a compilation error. What is there? Missing. Did I have some bad syntax somewhere? Where? Oh, in the autocomplete code. Oh, okay, I just need a semicolon. Okay. All right, now let's, oh, still got some bad code. Okay. Function does not take, okay. Well, see this, it doesn't take one argument. Let's just pass it. I'm really not crazy about that. I am not crazy about passing basically null references. I would rather pass a pointer because then at least with the pointer you can see if it's null. Whereas a reference, you can't. Game screen undeclared identifier. What is it called? Isn't it called game screen? Is it not called game screen? Game screen right here. Game screen. Am I just not? Oh. I feel like I'm close to getting like a circular dependency. I don't think so. All right. This is looking good. I feel good about this one. I feel good about this one, boys. I'm gonna check Fiverr really quick to see if actually I'll check that on my other computer. Okay, we have compilation. Let's see if it runs. Yeah, I swear I see these alerts. I see these notifications on the side of my, on like out of the corner of my eye, and I never know what they are. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Where is my debug window? I think, where did the debug window go? Okay, here it is. Okay, let's see. New game. Easy. Boom. Okay, so that worked. There we go. It worked, boys. It worked. Look at that. Look. And where's the debug window? Thank you. Game mode easy. And now we can draw. So now what we should do is we should set the grid size according to how hard the game is. Right? I mean, that is logical. First we do our due diligence and we commit the changes because, if the computer blows up, we don't want to lose all the work we've done. So let's look at game. And again, I like to kind of review my own code just to make sure that there is nothing that like is crazy that like I put in that I'm not realizing. So this seems, I had to initialize the GUI. Imagine that. I put in I'm going to get rid of these debug statements because they were really just there for my own sanity, not really for something I wanted to keep in. So that's good, and that's good. Okay. So that looks good. Game screen. This, I just added the logger and I added the new game settings. I'm not crazy about that pattern, but it is what it is for now. Here, again, we just added those new things, and I think that's probably it. So that's good. Game engine. What did we change in game engine? Yes, we had to change multiple things in order to pass that parameter around. And in game engine.cpp, I'm assuming, yeah, we did the work for the new game in the poll, and then we pass it into change screen, and then there you go. Okay. I'm not sure why settings.json has been modified. Oh, I guess it's new. Okay, we'll just ignore that. Okay, so I think this is good. Implementing game select screen. Okay. And then we can commit staged and pushed. Okay, it's been pushed. Good. Good. Okay, now what do we do? Now, what we'll do, and this should be pretty easy actually, we'll change the grid size according to the level of difficulty we've selected, because that's the whole point of the level of difficulty we selected. No, Joe's still not around. Okay, let's go over here. So we have this here. All right. And where was that? That was on game screen, gamescreen.cpp, which we can put right here. And then we have, okay, so we have the settings here, the new game settings. Now, init GUI. No, I forget where. Okay, here it is, griddle. So this variable here, griddle, controls the size of the grid. It, like right now, I have it set to 100 by 100, but it will be set to whatever according to this. So we'll just do a simple. This isn't going to be. How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? Let's see. Grid size. Make unique tile manager. It doesn't really matter, right? I mean, we can just do something like this. It's a 2U. Okay. So the default will just be the easy setting, right? Which we'll just have as, actually maybe we should just do griddle here. Just do griddle. And then we'll just initialize it to 0. It's always good to initialize your variables, even if you're going to do something. Okay, so the what I was thinking of initially was griddle equals 50. That's going to be the default. The medium will be 75, which the AI already knows, and then the hard will be 100. Okay, perfect. And then from there, we set the size, right? Another thing, do we have a way? I don't think we have a way to get out of the game screen. That might be a different thing. But let's look. Ooh, boy, my tummy is. What is this? Why do I have this on my desk? What is this? Okay. So, oh, I'll be right back. instead of programming in the morning, it should be tummy problems in the morning. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we come over here, new game, easy. Okay, so that is definitely a bigger screen than we had before. So let's try medium, let's try hard, make sure it all makes sense. Unfortunately, there's no way to exit, which we're going to take care of next, and then I think we'll call it a day. So new game medium, definitely smaller than what we saw a second ago. So we'll cut that. And then let's run it again, and this time we're going to try hard, and it should be even smaller. It should be even tinier. New game, hard, and yes. Okay. So that is what we expected. Let's check in our code. Very small change. Oops. Nope. Very small change. This should just be adjusting grid size based on level of difficulty. Okay. I think that will do. Okay, so now let's run the game and talk about how we want to exit a game, right? Like let's talk about that. What we have here, okay, here's the game. We have a new game and we go into a medium. Okay, we're playing. I think for now, just a hard escape, right? And then the hard escape will take us back to the main menu. I think that's the way to do it. So we have to detect the escape button. And then once we've detected the escape button, we have to exit back to we have to return a change screen. Because remember, the way that this works, that it was brilliantly designed by an amazing programmer, is if we're in the game screen, where's the game screen? If we're in game screen, where's game? Okay. Then if we return anything from this poll, now we should be able to do something as simple like on an escape screen, just return. And the thing is, we can do it on the update too. Whoops, let me take this off. We can do it on update as well. Right, because Game Engine, if I remember correctly, Game Engine will do the same kind of action on poll or on update. So here we are on poll, and then on update, yes. So it's going to do the same thing. Now, is there any reason? I was going to say, is there any reason to have these separate or to have one call the other? But the thing is could I ever get from update to a new game, right? Or because poll is like the user took some action, and update is like the game took some action. So update, so the update would be called, for example, if a timer was counting down, that's where the update would kind of trigger an action. Whereas poll, if the user hit a button, that's where you would have that's where you would come into poll. So, first things first, we need to override the we have poll. Wait. Did I just say the wrong thing? Poll is where a user action. Yeah, I got it right. Okay. So, game screen. Now, I don't remember offhand how to get user input. So, what I'm going to do, I didn't want to do that. Game screen. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to load up another game that I wrote. So there was an old game based on, let me find it. Source. I think it's here. Okay, cool. So there was another game I had written called the Tommy Tucson video game, which was kind of like a top-down view RPG kind of game. The game it's much more mature. There was a lot of more work put into this game than the current game we're working on. But I kind of abandoned it because the premise was kind of dumb, and I kind of stopped. But a lot of the things that I learned from this game, as such as like how to structure the game engine and switch between screens and all that architecture, I kind of came up with as I was writing this game. And then when I started writing GeoSketch, I took those elements and I refined them and put them into GeoSketch. But I definitely handle user input here. So, but I don't remember where. So I think it's a similar thing. Poll. And if I just look for poll handlers, like this. Game screen, poll. Okay. Action type. No. Where do I... I definitely handle user input. Current scene. Oh, okay. Let me see. Tucson. Okay. Event. Here we go. Okay, so you look at the event key pressed, and then you look at the key code, and then it's probably somewhere in here. So let's copy this. Now we can come back over to our game, which is right here. So if we're on the game screen and we're in poll, but wait a minute, how did I handle? That's weird. Poll. So what I want, I am a little confused because I believe I really want this as well, but I don't think it's going to do anything right now. Screen update. And then, yeah, we'll just go like this for now. Okay. Now, see, in the Tommy Tucson game, I had screens and scenes, and I kind of thought that was kind of silly. But now I'm like, maybe it makes sense. A screen has different scenes. But wouldn't a scene of a screen just be a screen? That is a deep philosophical question. I think for right now, so I don't want this. What did I do? Okay, up here, I just called the base method. If it was handled, okay, I know I had some stuff there. Okay. All right. So what I'll do... Oh, but I'm already handling mouse input. Where am I handling that? I am definitely handling mouse input. Is that... No, wait. Where is that getting handled? Tile manager. Okay. Wait a minute. Let's back up. Let's back up. Let's back up. Will this compile? Okay. Is it... I'm trying to remember where... Okay, so there's the tiles, which I think tiles is tile manager, I think. Yes. But how are the tiles getting signals? Right? Because the tile manager would need to know things like when the mouse is moved, when the mouse has been pressed, when the button has been pressed, and things like that. So how is that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down into the tile manager. So this has this event, but where's that event coming from? That's what I want to know. So let's go ahead and go here, easy. Oh, did I break something? I think I broke something. Let's look at what I changed. Oof, you can hear my tummy. My tummy's hungry and upset at the same time. All right. What did I change? This event, poll. Oh, okay. That's where it's coming from. So we can keep that same kind of modus operandi, right? Let me see. So yeah, I do a poll, and then I let the events do it, or the tile manager do it, and then I return null. Okay, so I can just kind of do the same thing, right? So the tiles will still handle themselves here. What I'll do is I'll look for a key press. If the key code, is it just escape? Okay. Okay, we'll just, get out of here. Okay, now, what do we do here? I think what we'll do here I think we need to move this up, right? So we'll do something like this. That might not need to be a const. Maybe type. First we'll poll, right? Else if not equals none, then we return result. If instead we get down here and you've pressed escape. Now, I know hitting escape to exit the game without any confirmation is a little heavy-handed, but that's what we're going to go with at first. We will... What is the action type? Well, see, this is where this pattern kind of starts to not be so great. The action type would just be change screen, and then it would just change to the main screen. Results go. Yeah. So what I would need is I would need a new poll result object, and then result type equals change screen result dot data equals, it's going to equal the main menu. What is it called? Where is it? Is it in game engine? I think it's in poll result actually. Screen main menu is what I want. And then I would return this. I think that'll work. Let's see. So this should allow us to just hit the escape button from the game screen and get back to the main menu, like right away. Obviously, we will want like a confirmation button at some point. We'll want something that says, "Are you sure?" or "Do you really want to quit your game?" But for right now, let's just make sure this works. So let's go with hard. Okay, so that's to be expected. Let's continue. I said continue. Okay, so we can draw. Now I'm going to hit escape. And then here we go. Now if I do a new game on easy, it should be a bigger grid, which it is. Hit escape. If I do a new game on medium, slightly smaller, hit escape. If I do a new game on hard, even smaller. Perfect. Perfect. We did it. Now, the thing about the confirmation window is I think we could use TGUI for that, because I'm using TGUI. So let me show you. So TGUI, in case you don't know, TGUI is the whole graphics library that I'm using is called SFML. And I don't want to say it's a popular library for C++, but it's not a popular library for C++. So if we come over here, SFML C++. And you can see like it's a very simple, it's a very basic library. It doesn't offer any. I mean, it's very simple, but it's very powerful. So there's a, like, people often will they'll ask things like, oh, do I want to use SFML or should I use something else? Or what's the popular? There's a couple of popular game engines. Unite? No. But anyway, but people will ask these questions like, oh, should I use SFML? Should I use something else? And it's the question really is, the question is, well, do you want to write a game engine or do you want to write a game? And for some people like me, writing the game engine is more interesting than writing the game. And so with SFML, you're given the tools to write the game engine and the game, kind of. You write you write the game around the engine you're writing, and there's advantages and disadvantages to that. So that's why. So I'm using SFML. But SFML has this other. There's another project that uses it called TGUI, and what TGUI does is TGUI gives you all of these like user interface things like buttons and slide bars and little windows and lists and things like that. Because with SFML, these are things that you would have to write from scratch, because it's just a very basic draw a circle here, draw a line here. So that's what SFML. Captain Phantom Nerd has joined us. Hello, Captain Phantom Nerd. We're doing some programming in the morning here, working on the GeoSketch game. So, and what we have just done is we implemented the easy, medium, and hard levels, and now once you're in the game screen, you can actually exit back to the main menu. Yeah. So I was thinking, so the whole reason I mentioned TGUI is like, well, do I want to use, maybe I could use TGUI for that confirmation button, like the are you sure you want to exit your game kind of thing. Let's check in this code. I as always, I like to kind of scan my code to make sure I didn't do anything crazy. You got to do a sanity check. Always do a sanity check. Let's see. And then we just did this. And then there's the key pressed handler. And then I think that should be good. Implemented escape press to exit from game to main menu. Okay. And we'll go ahead and we'll push that. Okay. So I'm curious. Let's see. TGUI modal dialogue example. So modal dialogues is a pop-up menu. Maybe that's it. Modal dialogues. You know how sometimes when you want to exit a program and it says, "Do you want to exit the program?" And you have this dialogue, this little tiny window that pops up, and if you try to click outside of that little tiny window, it won't let you. It's because it's a modal dialogue. That's what a modal dialogue is that it takes focus away from everything, and it's like, you have to pay attention to me now. I'm trying to think of somewhere to generate a modal dialogue, but I can't think of like here somewhere you can. I mean, I'm sure I've seen like several modal dialogues just on this stream. But will TGUI do that? TGUI, you can create functionality. Now, the thing is in the other game that I mentioned, the Tommy Tucson game, I had to implement modal dialogues myself. And I did that. How did I do that? I mean, how did I do that? I did that because I'm a genius. But I'm trying to think. Options window. So if I had a modal window, let's see, modal window, where would I? Yeah. So they had their own event loop from what I recall. So event loops are in a game, and normal programs work somewhat like this too, but it's especially prevalent in games. You have a game loop. All games have a game loop. And the loop is pragmatically asking, what did the user do? Let me update the environment as such, right? If you press the button to move left, the game says, oh, in one instance of the loop, it's like, oh, he moved left by 1 pixel or 1 square or 1 tile or whatever it is. Let me move him left. And this is the game loop. And the game loops have to be very fast. But the game loops, they're updating often hundreds, if not thousands of things about the game every loop. And I don't even want to say every second. Oftentimes you'll hear about FPS, frames per second. And I'm not a game programmer, but I believe that essentially whatever your FPS is, that's roughly how many game loops you're doing per second. So if your FPS is like 30 frames a second, those frames are getting updated 30 times a second, right? And that's why games look so smooth, because the computers are so fast at updating the same picture over and over and over 30 times a second. And I do think modern games nowadays, like, they don't tie the update system and the frame system. Maybe they do. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a game programmer. But like in my game, for example, like I think I have it set to, I think I set it to 30. You can set how many frames per second you want to get, or that you would like to get if possible. Where is it? Okay, set frame rate. So I'm actually set to 60 frames per second. That seems like a lot. What if I change that to 30? If I change that to 30, will I get better responsiveness on the mouse? But anyway, so I forgot what I was saying, but the frames, they get updated every 30, in my case, I was updating them 60 times a second. Wow, that's a lot. I think most games are like 30. But I'm curious to see if I decrease the frame rate. Remember how I was drawing on the screen and I would move the mouse really fast? You would have these squares that didn't get drawn. So if I do that, let's go to hard. No, it's the same. Actually, it might even be worse. See, this creates a challenge here. Let me go to easy. It's a little easier to see. So you can see how if I move my mouse from left to right and I do it kind of fast, let me clear, right? See, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks I get filled in. If I do it slow, then they get filled in. So what's happening is I'm moving the mouse really fast. And so the game only detects, like, think of it as a slice in time. So when the mouse moves, the game takes a slice and it says, oh, okay, he's at this square right here. He's at this square right here. Why? Oh, that's a bug. But anyway, it says he's at this square right here. Why is that not drawing? It's only drawing if you move. That's interesting. All right, well, that's a bug. Anyway, so the game says he's at this square. Let me draw that square. And now by the next time it comes around and says, where is the mouse? The mouse is moved over here, right? So all these squares in between those two times, they never get registered. And that's why if I move the mouse really fast, like I'm moving it fast, like look, nothing even gets drawn, right? Because I'm so fast. But if I slow down, then it gets drawn. So that's an issue. And the only way I can think of to actually fix it is if I'm here and I move. So let's say the mouse picks up that I was over here on this corner. And then the next time it picks up that I was over here on this corner. Well, it knows I was here on the top left, and it knows that now I'm down here on the bottom right. So, and it knows that I was drawing. So what it would have to do is it would have to calculate all of those squares in between and then draw them. It would even without getting the mouse messages that the mouse was ever above those squares. Now it does create issues because imagine like if I was here and then I did a loop. Let's see. Let's try and do it. If I was here and I did a loop, oh, but I did a really fast loop. Maybe it's not an issue. Because I think, because you can see each square will tell you a time, a slice of where the game was trying to, where the game did an action. So here we started here at this one, and then the next one was here. So it would draw a line in between those two. Then the next time it would see that I was here now, over here. So it would draw the line between those two, and then so on and so on. Now that might create issues where the line is, That's going to be, I think, probably one of the bigger challenges of this game, is getting the mouse drawing mechanics correct. It's actually a lot. It's not as simple as you think. It's actually pretty challenging. I mean, it's even more prevalent. It's even a bigger problem here. So, yeah, no, but otherwise, I think we have made good progress. I think that's gonna do it for today. Let me make sure all my changes are checked in. Oh, I changed it to 60. Let's just keep this. I don't think there's no real reason to change it to 30. We'll change it to 30 if we find a good reason to change it to 30. Otherwise, let's just keep it how it is. There's no reason to change it unnecessarily. So, but guys, thanks for watching. I am sorry I was not here during the week. It was a week. I'm sorry I wasn't here. I probably won't be here on Monday because I have commitments in my professional life to deal with. So we'll take care of that. But maybe I'll do another programming in the morning tomorrow, because I do enjoy programming in the morning. Like I do. I just do. But yeah. So thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click and subscribe, and I will see